If you've ever watched an edit on TikTok of an anime you've never seen and shared it online with the caption, "This is peak," well then this video is for you. If you've ever said the words, "Oh, I won't watch that because it's too old," about an anime made before 2012, this video is for you. And if you've ever defended Western localization practices using reasoning you read on X about how something just can't do direct translations, this video is for you. Because you're not an anime fan. You're a tourist. And worse than that, you think you're the good guys. And like every tourist, you showed up, took pictures, complained about the culture, claimed it had to be fixed, and now you're on social media fervently defending a sterilized corporate theme park version of what it used to be. Yeah, the author of Gachi Yakuta lashing out against fans on social media, that's because of you. So let's get something straight right now. A tourist is not someone new. A tourist is someone who does any of, or any combination of the following of these three things. Doesn't engage with the medium and actively speaks as an authority on it, lies about their attachment to it, often for social media clout, or tries to change it to fit their modern, post-Marxist, communist, socio-political agenda. You didn't come here to understand, or even to enjoy anime. It came here to fix something that wasn't broken. And that's the problem. You are the problem, and over the course of the next 12-ish minutes or so, I'm going to take your worldview and so thoroughly dismantle it that you'll never utter the phrase right-wing grift YouTubers ever again. Because as someone who's been watching anime since 1996, it is unrecognizable now thanks to you usurping locusts. Now, first things first, couple of ground rules. If you haven't watched the show start to finish, shut the fuck up. I don't care if you saw clips on TikTok, or if your favorite YouTuber did a breakdown, or if you go to bed watching 4-hour lore explain videos. You didn't watch the show. Why the hell are you talking to me like you did? Your entire understanding comes from clips and commentary, and yet you don't even have your own opinions. Just the parroted opinions of someone on a screen who must be an authority because they have over 100,000 subscribers. But hey, I guess you're a real fan because you have the third opening theme song on your Spotify playlist because you heard it on a YouTube short while mindlessly scrolling your phone at 2 a.m. Alone in the dark in your bed because you're a socially awkward 20-something with no romantic prospects and a culture war to win. I guess that's part of being on the right side of history. Point is, you built your entire personality on that. In fact, these tourists are so inept that they don't even realize anime is not a genre. Granted, it's not your personal wish list and for damn sure not your social project either, but that's neither here nor there. Anime is a medium. And grab an Advil because this one might sting a little, but if the only thing you've ever watched within that medium is shonen, then you don't love anime. You might love one little slice of it. You haven't touched sci-fi classics like Psycho-Pass or appreciated the wholesome romance of Hokkaido gals are super adorable. You couldn't even tell me the director of Cowboy Bebop, Shinichiro Watanabe, by the way, the greatest director in anime history. And you certainly haven't seen his slice of life masterpiece, Kids on the Slope. But you're out here talking about what anime as a whole should be. Alright, take a seat, child. You don't get to do that. And while we're on the subject of it, most of you don't even like anime. Yeah, you like the aesthetics, you like the edits, like the characters, out of context. You like using pictures of AI-generated anime versions of yourself so people think you're interesting. My god, how the internet has changed. But the actual medium, the things like the pacing and tropes and cultural differences, yeah, y'all hate that shit. That's why every time you run into something that makes anime, you immediately start asking questions like, why is it like this? Or why can't they change this? Why is this even allowed? Well, it's because you don't love it. You tolerate it until you can reshape it. But here's the thing. Anime is part of a larger culture. Anime is intrinsically Japanese. That's the point. That's why we real fans fell in love with it in the first place. The different values, the different storytelling, frankly, different boundaries if we're looking at the 80s and 90s. But then here you come saying, oh my god, this anime has lolly characters. What, is the author a pedophile? They do realize this isn't the 90s anymore. This shouldn't even be allowed. Do you see how badly Fairy Tail sexually exploits its female characters? Bitch, they are not real, they are cartoon characters. Nobody's getting exploited. And the biggest bitch of the bunch is you're making me defend Fairy Tail when I don't even like Fairy Tail. So respectfully, fuck you. Not everything is made for you. If you don't like fan service, cool. Watch something else. There are thousands of anime without it. But instead, your kind want it removed entirely. Why? So it can look more like the media you already have, more Gravity Falls, more MCU slop, more Invincible or The Boys. Yo, we have that shit in the West. Just go watch that. But it honestly gets so much worse. When changes happen, rewrites or altered dialogue, tonal shifts, these people defend it. At best, some of them don't know what's happening because, like I said at the beginning of the video, they're not actually even meaningfully engaging with the medium. But others do know. And they support it anyway. It doesn't really matter which one is worse. One is ignorance, the other is intentional. But the result's identical. You're validating, or in many cases even promoting, changes to something that you don't understand or really even care about unless it's going to get you those sweet, sweet likes on your Instagram aura farming post. And let's say you are just ignorant. Well, first of all, this video is here to help you with that. But anyway, you really didn't know how bad localization in the West has gotten. Well, if you don't understand what's being changed, you really shouldn't be defending it. Like, if you do understand, that's even worse because you're just making my whole point for me, the point of this video. You see, tourists have main character syndrome. Walk into a medium that existed way before them, and instead of asking, oh, what's this? They ask, why isn't this for me? Well, newsflash, it wasn't. It never was. Anime doesn't exist to validate your worldview. Fuck, it doesn't even exist to validate my worldview. Because if it did, we would have so many more anime about dead tourists. But no, it doesn't exist to reflect your politics. It doesn't exist to meet your moral standards. And the fact that you think it should, that is the real problem. This is how the industry has gotten so corrupted in the last several years. You think this is just online noise, some rando on X with a race swap template anime character profile picture saying dumb shit in a vacuum? Yeah, it's not. Companies are watching you. Crunchyroll's watching you. Viz Media's watching you. KyoAni's watching you. They look at social media engagement, discourse. They think, oh, this is what the audience wants. It's not the audience. It's you. It's them. It's the tourists, the very same invasive species that ran here after ruining superhero movies, only to enact the exact same playbook strats from page 1. Termites who barely engage with the medium, but speak the loudest. So now we have companies start saying, we're making this for the global audience. We're adapting from modern values. We're updating it for the current world we live in.
Yes, you read the title right. I'm entering a manga contest. Kadokawa approached me and asked if I wanted to help promote more content creators like myself making original content via their new World Manga Contest. This year they also opened up a manga with dialogue category where you can submit stories in Japanese, English, Spanish, French, and Chinese. And that was the one that caught our eyes.
And just like that, the thing that made anime starts getting stripped out piece by piece. This isn't even an assumption, by the way. Like, Capcom themselves, one of the biggest names in the Japanese gaming space, openly say as much on their X account, and they're proud of it. I get that this is gaming and not anime, but to be real, the result is the same. I remember being in middle school back in the day, and I wanted anime to go live stream. Not isolated, the outcast, wearing all black at the lunch table, dreaming up Rock Lever's Gara AMVs set to Linkin Park, or living on forum sites because our IRL friends couldn't be fucked with understanding these weird Japanese cartoons. And we thought, oh, if more people watch it, that's a good thing. Yeah, we were wrong. I mean, god damn it, were we wrong. Because thanks to COVID, anime did go mainstream. And you cultural colonizers showed up. A slew of dumbass teens addled with ADHD, tit-top brain, and no sense of socialization due to 2 years of lockdowns, or worse, the painfully average former cheerleader, chubby white bitch who never gave a damn about anime until it was trending, now suddenly acting like they own it because they started watching Demon Slayer after they just couldn't bring themselves to watch The Office a 39th time. I think back to being in middle school when Dragon Ball GT was airing and we were too stupid to realize how bad it actually was. You know what I'd tell my young self? I would rather be bullied for liking anime, but at least still have anime, than watch it become something completely unrecognizable just so it can appeal to people who are never supposed to be here. Spoiler alert, that's where we're at in the timeline now, by the way. I referred to them as locusts earlier, a biblical plague. Maybe not as bad as the death of the firstborn son, but given the opportunity, I'm sure their ilk would go that far too. You saw what they did to Charlie Kirk? Yeah, no. They're locusts because they follow the same pattern. They don't stay in one spot. They move around through comics and gaming and movies. And now they've settled on anime. Same behavior, same talking points. Worst of all, the same fucking outcomes, stripping away the identity, whether for moral, ideological, or at worst political purposes, sometimes all three. Then they normalize the sanitation, and once it's unrecognizable, they get bored and move on. Just like locusts, leaving out nothing but a hollowed version of what it used to be. And for those of you anime fans who truly do love the medium and keep up to date with every seasonal show, buy the statues and posters, remember what it was like to watch episodes of subtitled shows on shady websites that were fan-translated, but yet for some reason you still kept the idea that tourists aren't ruining anime or that there's bigger problems, it's more nuanced. Come the fuck on, let's stop pretending this is complicated. Tourists are the problem. Companies are enablers, sure. But without the tourists, well, there's nothing to enable. No pressure, no demands, no changes. They are the catalysts. And back to said tourists, let's be real. You didn't grow up on anime, you didn't engage with it, you didn't respect it, you didn't beg your parents for a subscription to monthly Shonen Jump because new episodes on Toonami once a week just simply wasn't enough for you. And yet you still feel entitled to change it. And because of that, anime has been irreparably altered. Likely forever. Not because fans wanted it, but because people who weren't fans were allowed to act like they were. I guess in closing, here's the final litmus test. Have you ever called someone a pedophile on X simply because they said lolly is a Japanese art style for petite or small characters? Or if you've ever unironically said something like, Dragon Ball doesn't pass the Bechdel test? Congrats, you're a tourist. And by the end of this, you probably do still think you're the good guy. You don't love anime, but you are the reason it's getting worse. And if this upsets you, good. Go fuck yourself.